Okay, everybody, again, welcome. I'm excited to be sharing, number one, the first day of the Happy New Year with everybody in the real estate industry. Secondly, I'm even more excited to not only share with you how to reach and exceed your real estate financial goals, but to be able to witness you reaching and exceeding your real estate goals this year. Today we're going to talk about a few different methods and how to do this. I'm going to give you some formulas. I'm going to share some statistics with you. I'm going to show you how you can do this yourself, and it's not going to take rocket science. Now, one of the things I'm going to tell you is this all started off when I was in the title business for about 23 years with a company called First American. And one of the things I was trying to help brokers and agents do was meet their goals in real estate, both financially and monetarily. What I found is in sponsoring many of the great speakers, the Tony Robbins, the Mike Ferrys, the Brian Buffinis, the Tommy Hopkins, and the Joe Stumps, when we would bring in these great speakers, they always had great tips, great advice for agents and brokers on how to set a business plan, create their goals. But it always seemed complicated to me because there were books and tapes and video cassettes, and you had to spend $2.99 to buy this package and that package, and then it seemed complicated. And one day it hit me like a BFO, and I'm going to call this a blinding flash of the obvious. We call those BFOs here. And it dawned on me that every agent in that room had one thing in common. They were all in real estate. But the other thing that they had in common is they all needed to make money. What made each agent and broker in that room unique is that the amount of money was different. I could guarantee you that two people sitting next to each other had a different desired or needed income to survive in real estate. So I started thinking about this, and as I was working with different brokers in the Bay Area, and in the California Bay Area, I started to think, okay, if there were a way I could create a formula or a program that would go in and be unique to you, your business, your geographic area, your sales prices, your specific business criteria, and your model for real estate, how would that work? And could I create a program that would work for any agent in any market in any part of the country that would help them be successful with goals? So here's what I did. I did some research, and I found out there is a secret formula. Now, the secret isn't from NAR statistics. NAR statistics at the time when I did this back in the late 90s said that it takes 35 contacts for an agent to get one appointment, and it takes 4 appointments for an agent to close a sale. Now, folks, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that was a very conservative number from the agent that sold 1 mobile home to the agent that closed 350 condos or homes in the year. And somewhere in between, they came up with this average of 35 contacts get you 1 appointment, and 4 appointments will close a transaction. So here's what I did. Using those numbers, and I want you to write some of this stuff I'm sharing with you down because this is the secret formula, and this is how I put this together. And there are over 20,000 people currently doing it with this method. So I started to think, okay, even in the most conservative manner, if it took 35 contacts, that means 35 front doors of houses, got you 1 appointment, and you sat in 4 living rooms, dining rooms, or at kitchen tables, 4 appointments and only closed 1 sale, it gave me the starting point to develop something I thought would be very effective. So again, the NAR at this time, now I'm certain these numbers have changed. I'm certain the numbers have gone down because a lot of people, let's face it, there's been a real estate challenge, and there's been a transition of people getting into the business and getting out of the business, maybe more so the latter. But the point is, if it takes 35 contacts to get appointment, 4 appointments to close 1 sale, do you know how many closings you need to reach your financial goal? So I put together this little program, and I started thinking really heavily about this, and I want you to just bear with me for these 5 minutes of pain because it's going to all make sense in just a moment. How could we determine, or better yet, how can I promise you today, after listening to this call, watching this webinar, that you could hit your financial goal, not only reach it, you could exceed it with a plan. And I could give you the plan, give you the formula, give you the secrets, show you right now. Here's what I did. I figured you're unique in your area. So I've got people on this call right now. I'm looking at the attendee list. I've got people in Chicago, Texas. There's a couple here from New York. Hi, guys. We've got people from all over the country. There's about 164 people on this call right now live. Each of you is unique in that your average sales price in your area is unique to you. I promise you, it's not like it is in San Francisco and New York. Chicago's not going to be like Texas, and the person I see here from Oregon, our average sales price in our areas are all different. So how will this work and be unique to you and work for you? Because you could put in your information. Now watch this. If you can come up with the average sales price in your area, everybody gets a commission in real estate. Now, I don't know what your commission is. I don't care. The point is you get a commission, whether that's a 3% as a buyer or a seller's agent, whether that's a 6% as a dual agent, whether you negotiate that fee from 5%. It doesn't matter. The point is you get a commission. Some of you are brokers on this call. Some of you are real estate agents. Some of you are veteran agents, and some of you are brand new in the business. No matter what, you probably have some kind of a desk fee, a broker split. If you're the broker, you're 100%. If you're brand new and I'm new in your Century 21 office, for example, I might be on a 60-40 split or a 70-30 split. The point is most people have this number and know what it is. Now we get into the tough part, the painful part. How many days are you really willing to work in real estate? Seriously, how many hours a day are you really willing to work at real estate? And here's a tough one. How many weeks do you need to take for vacation so you'll have balance and you can work in real estate? Folks, you need vacation. You need balance. You need time off. These are things that apply to every single person listening to me right now or watching this or listening to this recording. This applies to you. And I promise you, your numbers are going to be different than the person sitting next to your left, to your right, or who's on the call across the country. Here's the key factor that I decided I needed to have. This is where, again, you're all unique, but here's what you'll have to have. How much money do you need to make in real estate? Now, if my wife were a nurse practitioner or a doctor or whatever and making $180,000 a year, I probably could get by with selling 1 or 2 homes a year. Some of you, this is your living. This is your livelihood. This is what puts bread on the table, feeds the kids, the husbands, the wives. How much do you actually need to make in real estate to live, survive happily, comfortably, successfully? It's not about being a millionaire. It's not about being a rock star. It's about surviving. We all know the economy is challenging. We all know that the real estate industry has been challenging. We all know this. So what you're looking at on your screen right now, this is the formula I created in conjunction with the National Association of Realtors' most conservative formula of 35 contacts will get you 1 appointment, and 4 appointments, you should close 1 sale. Now, I'm assuming, again, that's even if you were not the most intelligent person in the world versus the most savvy, tech-savvy, real estate veteran, top-notch, top-shelf agent in the country. Somewhere in between, though, those numbers are very, very conservative. So, again, here's the secret calculation. I start with the financial goal. How much money do you need to make in business to survive? How did I do that? I take the financial goal, and then I used mathematical calculations, which are easy to do in Excel. You all have heard of Excel. You can go into Excel and create a spreadsheet, just like I'm going to show you in a minute. But I took the average sales price, the sales commission, whatever the broker split was, the days you wanted to take off for vacation versus the days you wanted to work, how many hours in that day you were willing to work, and what was your desired income. And I broke it down into a bite-size, eating the elephant 1 bite at a time, manageable daily task that's going to make a lot of sense in just a minute when I show you this. So, for example, in the screen you're seeing now, this is an Excel spreadsheet I threw together. I took the average sales price of $350. I said you're going to get a 3% commission. You're going to get an 80% split, give your broker 20. You're going to take 4 weeks vacation to go to Aruba and Hawaii. You're going to work 5 days a week. You're going to work 10 hours a day. And this is for the agent that said, Brad, I need to make $100,000 in real estate. That's just to pay for the gas, the electricity, the garbage, the water, the mortgage, the insurance, the car payments, groceries, etc., so forth and so on. With the $100,000 income, what I decided is, okay, let's break that down, doing the math. That just means you have to close 12 deals for the year. That's simple, folks. 12 deals, but now remember, if it takes 35 contacts to get one appointment and 4 appointments to close a deal, that means you're going to need 48 appointments for the year. But here's where it gets really cool. If I would have told that agent, you're going to need to talk to 1,680 people. See, folks, listen to this. It takes contacts, period, to get appointments. And you're never going to close a single transaction in real estate if you don't have some appointments. So at the bare basis of success, you have to have contacts to get appointments. You have to have appointments to close transactions. If I would have told this person they had to talk to 1,680 people, based on that conservative formula from NAR, they would have probably fallen over and said, I'm going to get out of the business now. That's just inconceivable. Just like Jared from Subway. If they told Jared from the Subway sandwich restaurant that he had to lose 250 pounds or he was going to croak, he might have croaked right then and there and fallen over. But they didn't. They said, Jared, all you have to do is lose 7 ounces today. If you can lose 7 ounces today, you can lose 250 pounds over time. So let's cut back on the 3 Big Macs. Let's have 1 tuna Subway 6-inch sandwich with some water, and you can do this. And so that's what he did, and so that's what I did. I wrote an Excel spreadsheet that will basically go in and break it all down like I've just shown you in a matter of minutes and tell this person who wants to make $100,000 in real estate, they only need to talk to 7 contacts a day. So is everybody with me? So this is what it is. This is the goal part of what I want to share with you today. This is setting realistic goals. By just having a few answers to a couple of questions, you can literally go in and set a realistic financial real estate goal by using an app like this. Now, by the same token, working with many brokers and agents who are doing this now, they said, but how do I track my progress? So I went ahead and created a progress analysis that does the same thing, where you're actually putting in your numbers to compare where you're at in reality. Now, folks, you can hope this will work, and you can say, I hope 2012 is going to be a better year, and you can say, I hope I hit my goal, but you know what? And I don't remember who coined this phrase, but I will tell you this, hope is not a strategy. Hope is just hope. You can hope the train won't run you over if you're laying across the tracks, but if you don't get up and do something, you're run over. So here's what I did. I created a sales tracking. If you go ahead and put in the numbers of what or track your sales and do the same thing I did using the sales price, the commission, the split, then you can go in and have Excel create a reality. What is the actual versus the goal? What is the reality versus the dream? And this is what happens. Tracking your sales will keep you accountable to your goals. Here's what I found. A lot of agents aren't doing this. They're not asking the customer, how did you get my, oh, I saw you on the website. Well, what website? What page? I've got a blog. I got a website. I'm on Zillow. I'm on Active Rain. I've got a WordPress, a Tumblr. You must know where your business is coming from. Then, if reality is you say your sales price is $350 in your area, but it's really $279 based on your sales, you can make those minor adjustments and keep on track. Folks, this is not rocket science, but I will tell you, most of the agents I've sat with, most of the people I've actually consulted with and asked questions, and brokers included, tell me we don't have anything like this in place. So, having said that, I said this would be the reality versus the dream. So we've got the goals on one side. On the other side, we actually track reality. In essence, if you sell a condo for $250 and you sell another townhome for $225, then your average sales price is not really $350. Your average sales price is really around $237.5, and so that's why we created goals versus actual. You have to be accountable to your goals, and the only way you can be accountable is to know where you're actually at. Folks, this is kind of like a roadmap, and I like to use this because Highway 80, for those of you in the United States, know that Highway 80 runs from the East Coast to the West Coast and vice versa. In fact, I was in Sacramento just a couple of days ago, coming back from Lake Tahoe, and saw a sign that said Ocean City, MD, 3,023 miles in Sacramento, California. So this is a roadmap. Without a roadmap, how do you know how to get from A to B? That's all I'm showing you now. I'm going to show you how this is all going to work in just 1 second. So here's one of the statistics I have found in my own research is that 60% of agents don't track their sales. 75% of agents aren't tracking the resource or where those sales are coming from. And 100% of those agents not doing this could make much better decisions in their marketing dollars if they only knew where their transactions were coming from. Hopefully this is making sense. I'm not getting a ton of questions, so I'm pretty excited that we're right on track here with the 10:20 mark, 1:20 in New York. So thanks, folks, over there on the East Coast for joining us today. So here's again where I'm saying investing. After a year of doing this, it's nice to go back and say, look, all those ads we ran on the cover of Homes and Land magazine for that seller that had that $1.6 million home listing with us, did it sell from Homes and Land? Now, maybe you're going to continue using that marketing platform because the seller's expectation is to have it on the cover of the Rolling Stone. That's fine. I'm not saying to not do that. What I'm saying is, where does your business come from so that 365 days from today, you can look back and say the majority of my business came from my blog, it came from my farm, it came from my direct mail marketing campaign, or it came from the commercials that came on during the Super Bowl. You have to be able to justify how much you're putting into your marketing and advertising. Now, after meeting with a lot of brokers and agents, it was great that they could determine what their goals were and how many contacts they needed and what they needed to do to be successful. But then what I found the challenge was is they didn't know where to go to get those 7, 10, 8, 6, 20 contacts per day. So I created some online ideas on ways you could market, people you could go after. Let's face it, come on, the person who's been in that house 30 years and it's a 6-bedroom home, they're empty nester. They want to downsize. Or the person who's renting that home that was just purchased last year for $600,000 and it's non-owner occupied, there's your first-time buyer. There's your renter, your tenant, needing to buy a home instead of rent. What about the people who are in non-owner occupied foreclosures, defaults, short sales? Those are tenants who are moving and they don't know they're moving yet. You can catch them before that thing goes to foreclosure and the sheriff knocks on the door and says, 5 days, move out. Man, there's some great opportunities for getting in front of contacts. Zillow's Premier Agent. I'm not pitching it or plugging it, but I'm going to say it's one great way to get in front of a consumer. You can get in front of a lot of contacts. Remember what I said in the beginning. It takes contacts to get appointments. It takes appointments to close deals, period. End of story. Everything else are tools. Everything else are byproducts of what you have to do to be successful in real estate. If you don't have contacts, you don't have any appointments. And if you're not out talking about real estate and having an appointment with somebody, then folks, you're not going to close and reach your income goals this year or ever. So what ended up happening is as I started talking with brokers and agents, I started coming up with new ideas. Everything I'm showing you on the screen is kind of glazing by. Seller's worksheets, buyer's worksheets, what you pay in rent could be equity in your home. These were all ideas, tracking your taxes and your fees that you spend and knowing how much you need to be farming and prospecting. And then the pipeline, oh my gosh, the infamous pipeline. How do you keep the pipeline full? You're busy with listings and buyers. How do you keep busy with prospecting past clients and new clients? It's all part of what you can do in Excel. This is the site I'm going to be going to, but you don't have to worry about this because I'm not trying to promote anything other than I want to show you live how this is going to work. So let me switch my view here. I'm going to show you something. We're going to go live to a website, and I'm going to let everybody kind of toy around with this so you can mess with the numbers. Now, I'm going to give you this formula. You can go into your Excel spreadsheet. You can design this. You can do it in whatever program. You could do it on a steno pad. It doesn't matter. It's just math. But let's do this. I'm going to go over to a sample. Where is my sample? Here's my sample. All right. Give me just 1 second to pull this up for you. Okay, so I'm just going to talk about one section, one module of what we were just showing. Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over to the attendee list. We now have 176 people here, and I'm looking for a hand. If you put your hand up, I'm going to unmute you. Please make sure you actually have audio hooked up to your computer. and I just need a volunteer who I'm going to help right now, publicly, in a recording, reach your financial goal this year. If I don't see a hand go up, then I'll just go ahead and wait for somebody to put Jennifer. Jennifer, I might just pick on you. Michelle, let's unmute Michelle. Can I unmute Michelle? Michelle, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, Brad.
Okay, so here's what I want to do with you. This is not set up. You and I have never talked about this. I'm just going to put you in here, and you spell your name with 2 L's, M-A-Y-O. And what company are you with, Michelle, in case anybody wants to send you some referral business?
Heritage Properties.
Heritage Properties. And you're in what area?
Connecticut.
You're in Connecticut. So, folks, if any of you have any sellers moving from your area to Connecticut, you're going to want to contact Michelle Mayo. I'm certain she'd be happy to pay a referral fee for finding your clients a home in Connecticut.
Absolutely.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to run you through 5 quick, simple steps, and let's see how this is going to work. So in Connecticut, or at least in your market area, what's the average sales price of the homes that are selling right now in your community?
Probably, excuse me, around $235.
Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that in Connecticut you get a 3% commission. Regardless, if you're a dual agent, you probably get 6. You can always negotiate that number, but for time purposes, we're just going to say you're going to work on a 3%. You could change that to 2, 2.5. I recommend you never never compromise your commission. You folks work way too hard for your money, and I think you're worth way more than 3%. But are you on any kind of a broker split or a desk fee split at your office?
I am. I'm on a 65% split.
65, perfect. Now, these are the tough questions. Michelle, how many weeks do you want to take for vacation this next year?
We did 4, well, we do weekends. I do short vacations, so we'll say 3 weeks in a year.
Perfect. And the questions are going to get tougher. How many days a week are you willing to work in your real estate business?
I work 7 days a week.
Dear, we're going to fix that right now. I believe in balance, and if you want to work 7, I can't stop you, but I'm going to put 5 to show you can do this. And again, this is not set up by anybody or by any means. Don't prejudge this. I just want to show you how this works. So now, how many hours a day are you willing to work in your business?
10.
10 hours?
Yep.
All right. So I'm gonna put 10. This is the most important question, so don't answer it too quickly. This says very important. You can see that on your screen. Not how much do you want to make in real estate, nor how much would you like to make in real estate. Michelle, how much do you really have to make? Seriously, I mean, you got a mortgage. You probably pay, like I do, for milk is almost the same price as gas. You have bills. You have food. You have life. How much do you have to make? I mean, have to make to survive and keep your home, keep your lifestyle the way it is, not push it too extravagant or too extreme. How much do you have to make in real estate?
On the low end of the scale, 30,000. That's very low, but I have a husband.
Well, that's good. So, but to really bump it up, what on the high end would be kind of a good goal, realistic, that would be comfortable and not extreme?
75.
Okay. That's all we put in, folks. That's it. So based on $235,000 sales price on a 3% commission if you represent the buyer or the seller, not both, you split that with your broker on a 65-35 split. You're going to take 3 weeks vacation, work 5 days a week, not 7, but 10-hour days to make $75,000. Now this is going to sound like a lot, but don't fall over on me yet. Stay on the line. 17 closings. Now, oh gosh, you start thinking about that. You're kidding me. Now remember, this is based on 35 contacts will get you 1 appointment. If you sat in 4 living rooms, Michelle, with clients, you will close 1 sale. But here's what I think. I think these numbers are negotiable. In fact, I think you've probably been doing this how many years?
Going into my 3rd year.
Third year.
Yeah.
So I would venture to say maybe you could talk to 25 contacts and get an appointment. And I'd venture to say if you pulled out a contract in 2 or 3, let's say it only took 2 appointments, or no, let's make it 3. Let's go conservative. So 25 contacts will get you an appointment, and if you sat in 3 living rooms, you close a deal. Again, all these numbers are just math. Let's go back to conservative and say if the NAR was right and those numbers stood today, 35 contacts will get you 1 appointment. It took 4 appointments to close 1 sale. Watch this. Yes, it may be 17 homes for the year. Yes, you may need to sit in 68 living rooms. Again, in the most conservative case, this is where it gets crazy and most people don't realize. That's 2,380 people you're going to have to talk to based on those 35 contacts and 4 appointments to close 1 deal. But here's what's the best of this. Michelle, you only have to talk to 9.71. Now, you can't talk to 0.71 of a person, although sometimes we feel like we are, don't we? But let's just say 10. This is saying that you only have to talk to 10 people per day. If you do, you'll reach your 2380, which means you'll talk to 35 contacts, getting that 1 appointment, sitting in 4 living rooms, closing 1 sale. But wait a minute. Is it realistically possible to set a goal of saying, I need to talk to 10 people a day? Michelle, look at this. How many hours a day? 10. How many people a day? 10.
1 person an hour.
Exactly. You totally get this. So when you start from backing up and just looking at the map and saying 17 homes sounds like a lot, the market is changing, the real estate industry is changing, gosh, I got to work. And remember, we're giving you 2 days off, not 7 days a week. Now watch what happens if you were really going to work 7 days a week. Watch the number at the bottom. Now you only have to talk to 7 people a day. So that's less than 1 person an hour. And here's the key. What is a contact? You and I are talking. And if I said I have a friend who lives in Connecticut that's thinking about selling, you are making your 1 contact for the hour.
Yeah.
So it's not just walking by the guy at the grocery store saying, hey, Jim, I'll take plastic bags today. That's not a contact, and you know that. The point is anyone can do this. And, folks, I didn't call Michelle and say, Michelle, raise your hand up when we do the webinar today. She volunteered, so thank you, Michelle, so much for doing that.
Thank you, Brad.
Let me ask you, is this practical? Could you really do this?
Absolutely.
So here's my offer to Michelle Mayo. January 3rd, 2013. If you go by this plan and you don't reach your goal, I will fly to Connecticut. By then, I'll hopefully have a company helicopter. I will pick you up, take you to lunch or dinner, any restaurant of your choice, anywhere in the country, if you don't make $75,000. But you have to be honest. You're a woman of integrity. I trust your word that you talk to those. Now, let's change this back to 5 days a week because I really think you need to have some time for your own self. If you were to talk to 10 people a day in a 10-hour workday, I can promise you, you're going to make $75,000 or more in real estate. That's if, in fact, all the numbers stay the same and 235 is your sales price. Now, if you're making sales and you are selling, I can promise you your broker is going to change this number. And as these numbers change, you might want to take more vacation. He might put you at a 75 or she might put you at a 75% split. You might double end some deals. So here's what I did. You would need to be able to track your progress, and the way you would do that is just by having some form of piece of paper, whether it's Excel or whether you use something like this program here, to track what you're actually doing. So what I did, let me just show you, I created a sales. Let's say you sold Pepperidge Drive, and you sold it for your sales price, which was $235. You're on a 3%. We said 3% commission. You were on a 65 split. And let's say you didn't pay anything. Now, let's say you sold Pepperidge Farm Drive for $535. It's one of William Shatner's homes there in Connecticut. And the broker said, hot dang, we're going to give you 75% commission on that one. And let's say you paid $500 to replace the water heater just to keep the deal together. Here's what happens is there's 2 sections. We went over the left section with you, talking about your average sales price being $235. The reality is, based on the 2 sales you had so far, if you're tracking them, your sales price is really $385, which look what it does to your contacts per day.
Yeah.
The key to doing this would be always keep contacting the higher number, because you don't want to start slacking off and say, well, now I only have to talk to 6 people a day, because something could go wacko, and this does happen. What if you sold a home for $235 and then you sold a condo for $160?
The numbers drop.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So now when I go back over to the goals, watch what's going to happen. Instead of 8.57 people a day, you now have to talk to 11 people a day, or come back onto the goal side and change your sales price, because right now your average is $197.5. This in and of itself, Michelle, is really the basis of what started back in like 1999 when I sat down with agents and thought, you know what? Right now, this will work for any agent on this call, just like it is for you. It's practical. It's realistic. The tough part of real estate is getting the 8, 9 people, 10 people a day and converting them into clients and selling them a home or listing their home or helping them invest in a home. That, again, I've got to rely on you because you're the pro. That's what you do in your area. But I do want to say I think it's very practical. It's very realistic that you could do this. And if you follow these numbers, you call me in January 3rd, 2013, I promise you I will fly out there and take you to lunch if this doesn't work for you. So thanks for being my volunteer. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
So the reason I think this is really cool, folks, and thanks again, Michelle. I think it's nice for her to volunteer. I'm going to pop your hand back down just in case we've got some other people want to come on here. So here's what I've done. I've shown you the formula. It's 35 contacts, gets 1 appointment, 4 appointments, closes 1 sale. Now, I removed all the little cells. This is just Excel, folks. This is nothing major. Look, here's the formula. You want the formula? You want the secret? It's right here. You can go into Excel. You can create a spreadsheet. You know your sales price. You know your commission. You can set up these formulas to do this for you. You can do it with a calculator. You can do it with a pencil and paper. It doesn't matter. My point in sharing this with you is do one thing, and Nike coined the phrase, just do it. The reason why is when you can sit back and look at a page like this that has your entire goals laid out on one side, your progress analysis laid out on the other side. If you look at this every day, you cannot fail. Hope is not a strategy. Failure is not an option. I want more than anything, folks, and I do this for my own company at Zillow. I want you to succeed. I would never, ever ask you to do anything with your time online, with tools, mobile devices, technology, or business if I didn't think it would help you in business. So this is the formula, this is the strategy, and this is what I want to leave you with today. Now, if you want to access a spreadsheet like this, you want to copy formulas, you want to try it, I'm going to show you where you can go. I've got a little blog I wrote. Let me see if I can pull it up here. You can actually Google Agent Assist. Agent Assist, it's 2 words, Agent and then Assist. I want to share something with you. There's a good friend of mine, Tom Ferry. He goes around the country coaching some of the top agents in the country, and I just want to share with you what he has to say about setting your goals and defining it. And once you hear him, it's just going to take a second, so humor me with this, and then I'm going to give you a link so that you can go in and test this stuff out, put in your own unique numbers, set up your own formulas. Whatever you want to do is fine. But I want you to hear what Tom has to say. Take a listen to this for just 1 second.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Life by Design, your place online for ideas, inspiration, and how to stay in the right action. So the theme of the week is the development of your business plan. And on Monday, we talked about where is the business coming from. Now I want to take you in a different direction. I want you to write down in your notes, what are you committed to in 2012? What are you committed to? What are those strategic goals you want to achieve? So I wrote down 4 different categories to keep it real simple. How many listings do you want to take? How many listings sold do you want for the year? How many buyer-controlled sales? And how many leases do you want to do? Those 4 categories. How many listings taken, listings sold, buyer sales, and leases for the year? What are you committed to? Then I wrote down what's going to be the total number of transactions and the total income to you. So total number of transactions and total income to you. Let's get that goal cleared today. Decide right now. I know you're saying, Tom, it's early in November. I know. Let's get committed to the number of transactions, the number of people you want to help in 2012. Let's get committed to that. Then I wrote down the following. How many prospects do you need? How many conversations you need? How many people you need to talk to, engage with, connect with, whether it's online or offline, face-to-face or through the mail? How many people do you need to talk to? What we know right now is our average coaching client is talking to about 49.5, so let's call it 50 conversations to one sale made. Now, I want to clarify. That's not talk to the same person 50 times. That's 50 individual conversations, online or offline, 50 conversations to one sale made. So here's what I wrote down. What's your number? What's your number? So let's say you want to do X number of transactions, whatever X is. We want to times that by 49.5. So you want to sell 24 transactions next year. We times that by 49.5. That gives us the total number of new conversations you need to have to absolutely guarantee success.
Okay, so what he's sharing there is basically the same thing. He's right on the mark, folks, but what he didn't give is the spreadsheet that you have to create. Now, you can depict how many homes you want to sell, and you can do all this, but my feeling is if you can go in and do the math based on how much money you need to make, then it's a different spin, but it all makes sense. So his question was, how many prospects, contacts, conversations, whatever you want to call it, do you need to have? So I just wanted to share that with you because I think he's done a great job of getting the message out. I used his video in an article that I wrote right here, but I also wanted to say not only is he giving the information, I want to give you the formula. I want to give you the numbers. So how do you get to this? It's real easy, folks. Just go to Agent Assist. It's a program that I wrote. It's just an Excel spreadsheet. But you can come over here to the tab that says Sample. It's just a free WordPress blog. If you click on Sample, there is going to be a link down here that says click here for an online sample of just the goal planner. Now, this isn't the buyers, sellers, worksheets, net sheets, pipeline, tracking sales, none of the other stuff. It's just the goal analysis sample. But when you click on this click here, it's going to bring you to the page I was just sharing with Michelle. It's got Michelle's name. In fact, you'll see up here on the right, there's already 4 other people looking at this page. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. I have it locked right now because what happened last time I did a webinar like this, people went in and started changing the numbers while I was on here live. And they actually started wiping out some of my formulas. And as you know, when you start creating formulas in Excel, they're not, sometimes these formulas are not easy. And for those who are very tech savvy with Excel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for those of you who are not tech savvy with Excel, again, you can do this with a calculator. I'm not telling you to buy this program. However, this is available online. I think it's like 10, 20, 30 bucks or whatever it is. It's a one-time fee. But the point is, come in here, look at the numbers. If you want to steal my secret formula from NAR, you can. If you want to steal my secret formulas on this portion of the spreadsheet, you can. The point is, do something, folks, to paint the picture based around how much you need to make. I want you to make the amount of money you need to survive in real estate in 2012. You can make more. You can adjust these. Now watch this. Michelle, I'm going to do you a big favor. Not a big favor. I want to show you something really cool. What if Michelle came in here and said, I'd really like to make $150,000. I don't want my husband to work anymore. I want to make 150 grand, and I'm going to take him to Tahiti for 4 weeks, okay? So, well, she said 3 weeks vacation. I'm going to give her 4. Now, let's keep it 4. Here we go. So 4 weeks vacation, 10 hours a day, still working 5 days a week, Michelle. All right, look what we just did. We bumped you up to $150,000. Now, watch this. Even with these conservative numbers, and I know you don't talk to 35 people, Michelle, to get one appointment, but if you did have to talk to 35 people, could you possibly talk to 17 people in a 10-hour day? Now, folks, listen to this. Watch this. How long does it take to, so I just shared an entire conversation with Tom Ferry with you that took less than 3 minutes. So let's say it took you 15 minutes to have a good, healthy, productive, wealthy conversation with a prospect. That's 4 people an hour. In an 8-hour day, folks, that's 32 people. Is it possible then, in an 8-hour day, now Michelle's willing to work 10, is it possible in an 8-hour day to talk to 32 people? Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to bump her numbers to get that contacts to 32. So I'm thinking $250,000. Michelle's probably smiling really big, and guess what? We're still not at 1 person every 15 minutes. Now, folks, you need to take an hour for lunch. You're going to have to take potty breaks. So don't cram your day so full thinking you have to talk to a human being or some prospect every 15 minutes of your life. Don't do that yourself. But here's the reality. She could talk to 28 people in a day if she had a good resource, a good lead generation source, a contact source. Maybe she's on Active Rain. Maybe she's blogging more now. She's got for sale signs throughout the community there. Maybe she's on Zillow as a premier agent. Maybe she's on ABC Realty, XYZ Realty. I don't know. I'm just saying the more exposure, the more advertising and marketing, the more content she has online and offline, she could easily talk to 28 people a day, meaning that, Michelle, you could make $250,000 in real estate, even with the numbers you shared with me. Moving that to working 7 days a week. See, all of these can be modified. My phone's ringing. Somebody's trying to call me already. Folks, this webinar's got to wrap up before I can answer my phone, so don't do that to me. But look at this. Now she's at 20 people a day. She's working 7 days a week. Her average sales price is $235. She's on a 65% split. Let's change that back. She's only going to take 3 weeks vacation. She's going to work 8 hours a day instead of, no, let's give her the 10. I work 10 myself because I love my job. 10 days per week, you can't do it. You can work 5. And so she's at 31 people, right close to that 32, as I said, but the income has changed. So these numbers can be modified. Folks, this can be created in any, like I said, any spreadsheet. This is Excel. You can create this on paper. You can create this with your calculator. You can put this on a Post-it note in front of you on your day runner. Carry it around with you with your calendar. Put it on your screensaver for your mobile device. Whatever you feel is going to keep this in front of you and keep you focused on the roadmap, which is all about one thing. It's about how much money you need to make in real estate. It's not about how many clubs you're in. It's not about how many blog posts you've written. It's not all about SEO and Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. Those are great platforms and wonderful tools to get the message out and get in front of those contacts. The focus is income. You have to make a desired, needed income and focus on that income. I tell people all the time, don't focus on the resolution. My New Year's resolution is I'm going to make $250,000 or, as Michelle said, $75,000 this year. That's not the focus. The focus is the steps it's going to take to get to $75,000. Anybody can say I'm going to make $75,000. That's my New Year's resolution in real estate. The focus is no, I'm going to talk to 10 people a day so I can reach my desired income goal. All right, I'm popping over here to the questions box. It looks like there's quite a bit. Jennifer says, as an Excel idiot, Jennifer, should I be worried I won't be able to create this? Jennifer, no, you shouldn't be worried. These are simple calculations, and as you can see on the screen, I've provided how to use the equal sum 38. If you were to copy this exactly, you could do that. If you don't want to waste your time, you could download this program. Like I said, I think they're charging, it's a Novell Soft. It's like $29, I think, or something. It's a one-time fee. I know they are moving this to an online program, so if you were going to want to download this, you can also look at the different things it has. It has the source tracking. It will pull up and show you, how many transactions and where those transactions came from, so you know where to invest your marketing dollars. It does have some marketing ideas. I've added some things that will help people to say, okay, now that I know how many contacts I have, where am I going to get those contacts? So we've thrown in a bunch of different stuff. It's got other little added kind of benefits and modules. It's got a buyer's cost, how much it's going to cost the buyers to come in, the seller's net sheet, show the sellers how much they're going to walk away with. It's got this really cool renter form. This is nice. If you know a renter that's paying $1,000 a month, This is how much they will have spent in 10 years if they would have invested that into a 5% interest-bearing account. Now, obviously, real estate is not growing at a 5% annual interest right now, but there was a time when it was. Those of you laughing right now remember, as I do. But even at $1,000 a month rent, consumers need to know that money goes out the car window onto the freeway. They're never going to see it again. There is no benefit to renting. Owning, even in this market, is the best way to go for investing in real estate and capturing back that money later. There's a lot of different things. The one I love on this especially was a broker that said, hey, how do you keep your pipeline flowing evenly? So I put a little inventory tracking. Folks, this is all Excel stuff, and if you don't know Excel, get a programmer. If you don't want to do all that, just get this program. This is easy enough to start. Again, you can come back to the sample. You can cut and paste and copy the codes. I don't care about that. What I care about is that you have some kind of an action plan that's simplified. To me, folks, and for Michelle, and I hope she's still on the call, this is simple. This is where it all starts. Everything else are tools. Everything else are just appliances to do what? To connect you with people. You have to have contacts to get appointments, and you have to have appointments scheduled to show property, put signs in yards, all that good stuff in order to close transactions. Everything else is just a tool. This is a people business, but what I will promise you is this formula that I shared with you today will work for any agent in any market at any time in any part of this country. I've been helping agents do this stuff since 1999, and since I realized that the books and the tapes and the audio and the business planning and the goal planning, you need something simple. Folks, this is as simple as I could make it. I hope it's going to work for you. I hope this helps. More questions coming in. Tori says, as a home stager, how can I use this formula to benefit my business? Tori, great question. This isn't just for real estate agents. If you're a lender and it's based on points, if you're a home stager and it's based on fees, it's all the same. It's just mathematical calculations. So if you don't know Excel, I mean, I would offer my services to build these out for stagers and lenders and appraisers and inspectors. My plate's full. I'm a father. I work for Zillow full-time. I do these webinars every day. I've got 3 kids. I'm a musician, a photographer. I travel. Gosh, my plate is just so full. So, Tori, I would love to help you out, but you can do this. Trust me, you can do this. There's video tutorials, man. Excel is pretty friendly. It's got a little paper clip that'll pop up and knock on the glass monitor and say, do you need some help? I'm right here. And again, if you wanted to try something like this, you can. If Excel's too complicated, find another program. Use your calculator. Try math on a piece of paper. You can do it. Just figure out how much you need to make. It's based on your stage or commission or a flat fee. Real easy to do, dear. Karen says, according to the number of contacts per day, does this have to be new contacts that you've never spoke to? Karen, great question. As Tom said, you can't talk to one person 50 times and count that as 50 contacts. So, yeah, I would say it's a new contact. So if you talk to me and I tell you about my brother who's thinking about selling in 3 months, and you contact him, he says, call me back in 3 months, you call him in 3 months, you could count that as 2 contacts, but only you know what that's doing to yourself. Don't cheat yourself. If you feel like that 2 contacts is cheating your numbers, then you're cheating your numbers. If you believe that talking to a person twice and it took twice to get the deal, I would consider that 1 contact. But again, having contacts is important. Now, folks, I can do another webinar on where am I going to get 10 contacts a day. I can give you source after source after source. We talked about some of the different ideas, and I'll go back to that little screen. This is in my little spreadsheet. Oh, not source. Marketing. So, for example, for sale by owners, those are possible listings. Those are also possible homes for your potential buyers. Calling on expired listings, but not the ones from last month. I'm talking go back a year. What about the anniversary farms in your areas? Call your local title company. Get public record. Pull up everybody that bought their home in January of 2005. That's 7 years ago, folks. Wish them a happy anniversary. Chances are their agent's not even in business anymore. And you're wishing them, hey, it was 7 years ago this month you bought your home. Happy anniversary. If you're thinking about buying or selling, consider giving me a call. I'm never too busy for your business or whatever. I'm just saying these are ideas. What about all those investors that have properties in Michelle's area that don't live in the state? They live other areas of the country. Send them a letter. Call them, hey, are you aware of the values and trends surrounding your tenant-occupied property? My goodness, today is a great day to try to sell. What about past client prospecting? Are you really working your past clients how you should be? What about million-dollar farms, gated communities, golf course properties? What about all the celebrities that live in your area? Here's a great one. Contact your own marketing idea. Put in your ideas. Maybe it's open houses. Maybe it's FISBOs. I don't know. I'm just saying there's a lot of different ways. I got a guy right now that goes around to moving sales. He pulls up the newspaper. He finds every ad in his local classifieds that says moving sale. Then guess what he does? He goes and searches his MLS to see which ones are listed. Then he drives around to the moving sales and says, I understand you're moving. He knows if they're the owner or the renter, and he tries to assist the owner, if they're the owner, to sell. He tries to assist the renter who has to move and is having a moving sale in being a buyer. And that's all he does, and he's very successful. He sells about 15 homes a year just looking for moving sales. So, folks, there's a lot of ideas. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. My goal today, my focus, my passion is to say, you know what, today's January 3rd, 2012. Is there any reason you can't make $60,000 this year in real estate? $100,000. Michelle, $75,000. $250,000. Karen, you can do this. Chet, you can do this. Agent Neil, you're on here. What are you saying to me, Agent? You're Agent Neil. I love this guy. He's one of my. I think he's attended more Zillow Academy classes than anybody in the industry. He says, Happy New Year, is there any Google Excel spreadsheet help out there? You know, this is a Google Doc. What I'm showing you right now, yes, you don't even have to have Excel, Neil. This is a Google Doc. I am in right now. This is Excel in Google Docs. Let's see. What else? Another question. Karen says, okay, we counted that one. What is the website to purchase software? Chad, if you wanted to download this, I think you just go Google Agent Assist. Here, let me pull it up again. It's right over here. It's agentassist.wordpress.com. It's right up here in the upper corner. This is going to end up becoming, it's a company now that has kind of taken it over for me called NovellSoft, and I think they're going to make it an online subscriber-based. Don't worry about that. They haven't done it yet. When they do it, it's probably going to be an annual subscription type of a thing. They're going to add some more modules, and I don't have time to deal with it. I'm very passionate about what I do here at Zillow, so I'm going to be focusing on this. But they are going to make it an online subscription base. So if you do want to grab it, go ahead and just go to this Agent Assist WordPress before they take this down. And I think you can download. I'm not sure where the pricing is. Here it says download. Let's see. Yeah, it's $29, man. So it's like for the price of a half a tank of gas, you got it on your computer. I do know you will need Excel to run it, or you could run it in Google Docs, I suppose. It will work on a Mac or a PC. So let me go back over here. I want to make sure there's any other questions. I see there's 10 other people right now looking at this, so I want to unlock it. I'm just concerned. I don't want folks to wipe out the formulas. How could we do that? Well, let me give that some thought. Let me go back over to questions, see if I missed anybody. Michael says, and Michael, by the way, I like the way you spell your name. That's awesome. Can you share this spreadsheet with me? Yes, I can. I can do that for you, buddy. There's another one. Okay, so I answered that. Okay, so folks, it's 10:57. I never like these to go more than an hour. Anita, I see your hand up. If you put it down, I won't unmute you. However, if you want to come on live on the call and you want to chat real quick, we've got a couple minutes left. I can unmute you if you have your speakers on or lowered down and you have a microphone plugged into your computer. You've had your hand raised for a couple seconds, so I'll give you a second to put it down unless you want to come on. I'm going to unmute you. Anita, are you there? Hi, Anita.
Hi, Brett.
How are you?
Good. How are you? I raised my hand by accident, but I just wanted to tell you that you can password protect your formulas so that people can erase them.
Yeah, you know, I've done that in the actual Excel spreadsheet, but on the Google Docs, I'm not sure if I unlock it, it doesn't let me password protect these formulas.
Oh, okay. I've never used Google before.
Yeah, Google Docs is great, but it does have its, they obviously can't compete with Bill Gates and Microsoft Excel, and that was the one thing I found. In fact, I'm going to probably, after this call, I'm going to research and see if I can lock this, because I want to unlock this so people can come in and change these numbers and kind of play with it here and get the information they're looking for. But I'm going to have to go in and see if Google Docs, I'll have to Google that. Can you secure a form? Because, yeah, most of these I ended up having to lock each cell so that the ones that do the calculations, people wouldn't accidentally hit the space bar and wipe out the formula.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you.
All right, thanks. Okay, folks, well, that's it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me anytime. I'm brada@zillow.com. You can always call me at 707-646-1876.